Hey, this is Mark with Growth Marketing Pro. Today I'm going to tell you how to do blog content for SEO in 5 easy steps. Before I forget, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. So my blog, Growth Marketing Pro, is the largest growth marketing blog on the internet. It makes almost $1 million of revenue a year, and my business partner and I did it completely with SEO. And these are the 5 steps that we use to make it happen. Step 1. Choose the right website builder. That's right, before you ever write a single line of a blog post, make sure you're doing it on the right platform. A lot of entrepreneurs we work with end up building their site on Wix or Squarespace. All of that is fine, but I want you to make sure that you use WordPress for your blogging platform. And it's very easy. You can plug in WordPress in a file or a folder, so /blog, so yourwebsite.com/blog, even blog.yourwebsite.com. We get a lot of questions. Is that okay? Yeah, it's totally fine. One is more optimal than the other, but look at companies like HubSpot who are using blog.hubspot.com. There's no problem with it at all. WordPress basically organizes information in a really Google-friendly way, in ways that Squarespace, Shopify, Wix, and others don't do. So even if you're an e-commerce entrepreneur, make sure to build your blog on WordPress. That's fine if you want to use Shopify for all its great features, like inventory management, pricing, etc., but make sure your blog is built on WordPress. Step 2, make sure to make incredible content. I know, that sounds ridiculous. A lot of entrepreneurs really miss the mark here. You need to make sure your content is the best thing on the internet for whatever the keyword you're trying to rank for is. I repeat, make the best thing on the internet. All you need to do is browse page 1 of the Google results, see who ranks number 1, 2, and 3, and guess what? Your content needs to be better than that. There's a lot of ways you can do this. You need to make sure that your word count is higher than theirs. You need to make sure that your introduction is more gripping. You need to make sure that your content is more chock full of incredible resources for your readers. The point is this, you want to keep people on page. Google has a concept called dwell time. Now that means if a user ends up on your site and bounces right off, that's a signal to Google that you're not the right answer to the user's question or query. Now, if the user lands on your site and stays there for 10 minutes and maybe ends up on your homepage eventually or another blog post, that's a great signal to Google that your site is chock full of incredible information and is worthy of the number 1 result in Google. Step 3, keyword research. Now, keyword research is a totally overcomplicated subject. You can find blog posts that are 10,000 words about how to do keyword research. But what it really boils down to is this one concept. You want to find keywords that are both highly searched and not very competitive. My business partner Haley and I uncovered a really interesting strategy in keyword research. So people are searching all the time, what's the best webinar software or what's the best landing page software? Our blog already ranks for keywords like that. We rank number 1 or 2 for those keywords most days. However, when you think about the long tail, a lot of people might be searching for this software versus this software. So maybe Zoom webinars versus WebEx webinars. Now, we created blog posts that we like to call versus blog posts, and now we rank number 1 for many of those queries. The point is this, those queries are extremely highly searched and they were not very competitive. So, how can you figure out which keywords are uncompetitive and highly searched? There's 3 ways. Number 1, logic. I'm not kidding you. Use your brain. There are a lot of keywords that you might know because you're the subject matter expert in your space and they're not written about yet. This happened when I took on a blog in the healthcare space. It's a men's health blog, and we realized very quickly that erectile dysfunction medication was all over our TV. Hims, Roman, and all the rest were advertising to us like crazy. Was anyone writing about it? No, not really yet. So we realized that that was a growing niche, and we went after it without doing a lick of keyword research. Number 2, make sure to find long-tail keywords by searching in search engines. Now, Google, YouTube, Amazon, Bing, all of these search engines have autocomplete features. Type in your root keyword and then scroll to the bottom of the Google page and see what other people are searching. This is super important. Google itself is surfacing information that allows you to figure out what other long-tail keywords people are searching. So perhaps Nike shoes is really competitive, but maybe Nike shoes for women's basketball point guard is less competitive. And finally, number 3, use a keyword research tool. There's a million tools out there. Ahrefs, SEMrush, GrowthBar, SpyFu. GrowthBar is my tool. And all of them do essentially the same thing. They'll allow you to see which keywords are highly searched and not very competitive. Almost in every case, these tools give you metrics like number of times a keyword is searched per month, how many others are trying to rank for that, how many results in the SERP there are for that. What you want to do is find things that look highly searched, usually a few hundred searches or more per month, depending on the space, and then low competition score. And all of these tools have a really easy to read competition score. I've used all of them. Step number 4 in writing a blog post that ranks is links. There's 3 types of links that I like to talk about: external links, internal links, and backlinks to your post and website. Starting with external links. Now, when you're writing a blog post, imagine that you're a Google spider or a Google robot crawling your text. If you're linking to sources that are really shady, Google's immediately going to take that as a signal that you don't really care about quality content. However, if you're linking to the New York Times or a medical journal or independent research from an authoritative professor, all of those things show Google that you really care about the quality of your content. As such, Google is going to rank you higher. Next, internal links. Remember dwell time? Again, Google wants to see that users are coming to your site and staying there. So if you can insert plenty of really relevant, great internal links into your blog posts, you're going to see users stay on your site longer. And then 3, and maybe most importantly, is backlinking. So Wikipedia ranks number 1 for tons and tons of keywords, and there's really no reason other than that they have great backlinks. Everybody links to a Wikipedia article, from college kids writing their essays to bloggers like me. Wikipedia has inbound links in the billions, and what you need as a blogger are inbound links. I'm going to leave a really great blog post down below, my 25 best ways of getting backlinks, but basically suffice it to say that if you're getting backlinks from the New York Times or TechCrunch or something else with a high domain authority or a high reputation score with Google, all of those things are going to show Google that you're an authoritative source, because why else would people link to you? Tip number 5, blog like a startup. I worked at startups for 10 years before going out on my own doing Growth Marketing Pro and GrowthBar. One thing that always comes to mind is minimum viable product. The minimum viable product, or the MVP, is basically your initial test to see if you can do something or not. Now, Uber and Postmates and all these companies made a minimum viable product and released it to the market purely to see if there was a market for their business. Back in the day, Travis Kalanick and Uber basically released a low fidelity app that allowed you to book a taxi service. And lo and behold, people didn't mind booking a taxi from their phone, and then guess what? They built from there. In terms of SEO, MVP basically means write content and write it fast. It doesn't need to be perfect right away. Now, I know I said that your blog post needs to be the best thing on the internet, but if you're looking for signs that your content may rank, and there are things that perhaps are highly searched and not competitive, write quickly, get things out the door, figure out ways to optimize your process. find writers perhaps on Fiverr or Upwork to make your content for you after you create an outline for them. Of course, edit it before it goes live, but what you want to do is pump out 3 to 5 articles per week. That level of content is going to give you enough little feelers out on the internet, and eventually one of those is going to catch. And when it does catch, and you start ranking maybe on page 3 for it, you know that you found a little gem on the internet, and what you need to do is then make that blog content incredible. At that point, once you start ranking on page 3 or 4, you know you've got something, so now make it the best thing on the internet. One way I love to accelerate the whole process is with content generators. There's a whole bunch of tools out there. Very few are good. Growth Bar is one of them, and it's excellent at creating SEO content outlines. So what it does is you give Growth Bar a seed keyword, and in one click, it'll spit out an entire content outline for you, which tells you how many words the article needs to be, gives you images, gives you headlines, gives you keyword suggestions, so that you can put together an article that's perfect for Google. Anyway, blog like a startup. Do things quickly, move fast, and break things. So to recap, there are 5 ways to make incredible SEO content for bloggers. Way number 1, make sure to choose a platform that works, like WordPress. Number 2, make sure to create the best thing on the internet. Number 3, make sure to do keyword research and find keywords that are highly searched but low competition. Number 4, links, links, links. Backlinks, interlinking between your page, and outbound links. Number 5, blog like a startup. Remember to like and comment below.